greetings citizens of the world. By now most of you have likely heard about the situation unfolding in the Ukraine. The actions of a few threaten to escalate the standoff into an armed conflict, putting innocent lives at risk and threatening to start World War III in a worst-case scenario. So with that being said, it's far past time everyone cuts the bullshit. Russia, this nonsense about the forces in Crimea being pro-Russian self-defense forces is ridiculous. You have full power to call them back to base and you damn well know it. So stop with the ludicrousy and tell people what it's really about. As for the United States, please shut the fuck up already, because you aren't fooling anyone either. This self-righteous hogwash about standing up for the Ukrainian people and respecting Ukraine's sovereignty is downright insulting coming from the United States. Shall we listen to what the US Assistant Secretary of State said only a month prior to this current situation in the Ukraine?
So that would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, fuck the EU.
No, exactly. And I think we've got to do something to make it stick together, because you can be pretty sure that if it does start to gain altitude, the Russians will be working behind the scenes to try to torpedo it. And again, the fact that this is out there right now, I'm still trying to figure out in my mind why Yanukovych did that. But in the meantime, there's a Party of Regions faction meeting going on right now, and I'm sure there's a lively argument going on in that group at this point. But anyway, we could land jelly side up on this one if we move fast. So let me work on Klitschko, and if you can just keep, I think we want to try to get somebody with an international personality to come out here and help to midwife this thing. And then the other issue is some kind of outreach to Yanukovych, but we can probably regroup on that tomorrow as we see how things start to fall into place.
The United States has been meddling in this from the start. Let's also not forget how the United States respected the sovereignty of Syria, Libya, and of course who could forget Iraq, to name but a few. The United States government has been interfering with other countries for decades, so honestly they have no right to preach to Russia about respecting a nation's sovereignty. Nonetheless, that's no excuse for Russia to follow the same tactics. Russia has legitimate reasons to be concerned about the future of the Ukraine, more so than the United States does for sure. However, let's be 100% honest with people, shall we? Russia, the United States, as well as the European Union don't honestly care about the Ukrainian people. To all of them, the Ukraine is nothing more than a strategic position in their war games. To put this simply, Russia wants to ensure Crimea at the very least is firmly allied with them. This is for two main reasons. Firstly, the Russian Black Sea Fleet is stationed there. Secondly, Crimea, as well as eastern Ukraine, poses a national security risk to Russia, if it was to fall into the hands of NATO allied forces. And now we get to the reason the United States and EU wants the Ukraine allied with them instead of Russia. It's a strategic position to hold power over Russia, to make them think twice before pulling another stunt like they did with Syria. In the end, it's countries playing politics with a nation caught in the crossfire. This is where we the people need to step in. We need to tell the governments of all parties involved that we won't be part of their war games. The people of the Ukraine do have a right to decide their own future, however they'll never have their voices heard with every other nation trying to poke their fingers around and influence Ukrainian politics. Get your fucking act together, everyone. We are anonymous, we are legion, we can forgive, though we do not forget. Expect us.